The arena on Varian 6 looked like a wound in the moon's gray face. It was a wide circle of cracked stone under a thin, icy sky. Around it, tall alien banners flapped, showing bright colors and sharp symbols from 100 worlds. Ships hung in the air like dark fish. Their hulls glowed with soft light and old pride. Crowds filled the stone tiers and whispered like wind in a canyon. At the center of the arena stood a sword. It was taller than a person. Its blade was not metal as humans knew it. It was a star-bright alloy that seemed to bend light and drink heat. The blade was fused into the ground, sunk deep as if it had grown from the rock like a crystal. Symbols ran along its length. They moved not like writing but like a living river. Some said the sword had a heart. Some said it had a memory. All agreed it had a will. Admiral Kartal of the Seraph Dominion stood near the sword with his guards. He was broad and elegant, with feathers like midnight steel and eyes that shone cold blue. His armor looked like carved night. When he moved, it flowed. Many in the crowd had seen him break fleets with soft words and one-hand gesture. He was old and sure. He believed in order, rank, and a story where his people stood always at the top. Humanity had come to ask for equal standing in the conquered. It had been a long journey. Many said humans were too young, too loud, too soft, too chaotic. Yet they kept showing up. They kept building, failing, trying again. And their ships, strange and stubborn, kept crossing distances that should have been too far. The Conquered Council had a rule for this day. There would be a test. The sword would choose. Kartal lifted a silver staff and the crowd fell quiet. "Behold," he said, his voice clear and smooth, "the sword of eternity. It answers to those who hold truth in purpose, discipline in mind, and strength that needs no noise. No human has such alignment. None will lift it. This is not insult. It is simple fact." He paused, letting the edges of the words cut. "Humans, do you accept the test?" A small group walked from the human line. At the front was Commander Evelyn Cross. She wore simple human armor, matte gray plates, a thread of blue at the collar, nothing grand. Her helmet was at her hip. Her hair was tied back. Her face was calm, and her eyes were the color of old sea glass. She walked like the ground was her friend, not her stage. "I accept," she said. Her voice did not echo. It did not need to. Some laughed. Some hissed. Lights from drones brushed her cheeks. Reporters from 10 species recorded every detail. A thin AI drone followed her, projecting her vitals into a quiet human channel. Heart steady. Oxygen good. Nerves present but under control. Evelyn stopped an arm's length from the sword. Up close, the blade hummed like wind across wires. Tiny sparks ran along the hilt. She could feel heat and cold at the same time. It was like standing under a storm that had learned to whisper. Kartal spread his hands. "You may approach. The sword will scan you. It will weigh your species. It will end this farce." Evelyn did not look at him. She let herself breathe, slow and even. She thought of Earth. She thought of small things. The smell of rain on old concrete, a cup of tea gone cold at a console, the grit under fingernails after a repair shift, the sound of a night train. She thought of big things too. The broken hull of a ship saved by zip ties and genius, the way a team becomes one mind in danger, the way humans say, "We can do it," when the math says they cannot. The first touch mattered. She placed her left hand on the hilt. The sword woke. A red field bloomed. It scanned her from skin to marrow. A voice rose from the blade, not a sound but a shape in her mind. Cold, sharp, unworthy, it said. The word was not angry. It was not even loud. It was final, like a door closed with care. The arena stirred. Kartal raised his chin. "You see? The human structure is unrefined. Neural pattern, chaotic. Vectors misaligned. Stand down, Commander. You need not be shamed by—" Evelyn curled her fingers more firmly. Her palms stung. The red light pushed against her, and the skin on her hand went pale. She did not remove it. She did not speak. She simply listened, to the hum, to the pattern under the hum. It was a song, but the notes were not in a straight line. They were spoked like a wheel. A memory came. Her first real EVA outside a training habitat at Vesta Station, when her tether caught on a bolt and snapped tight. The torque had spun her hard. For a moment, the stars had been a blur. Her breath had wanted to run away. She had found the center of herself and pulled on it like a rope. She had stilled. She had come back. She looked at the blade. "Again," she said. Not to Kartal, not to the crowd, but to the sword. She placed her right hand above the left. This time she spread her fingers so her pulse beat against the alien alloy. She matched her breath to that beat. In-breath 4. Hold 4. Out-breath 4. Hold 4. Box breathing. Old trick, simple, true. The red field tried to push her away. It found not defiance but steadiness. It sloped off her like rain from a roof. Somewhere an alien commentator said in a quick whisper, "She tries again. How human. They don't learn when to quit." Somewhere else a human sailor said, "That's cross, all right," and his hands shook, and he smiled. Evelyn did not smile. She looked deeper. There was a rhythm under the hum, change inside the change. The sword was not only testing strength, it was testing a story. Did she belong to a story of order that never breaks, of power that never doubts? That was not her story. She belonged to a story of fall and rise, of try and try, of break and build. "I understand," she whispered. "You don't want perfect. You want purpose." The field flickered as if surprised. Kartal heard nothing she said, but he saw the flicker. He stepped forward, feathers rising. "Stop. Do not damage a relic you cannot comprehend." Evelyn closed her eyes. There were words she could say now. There were speeches, clever and sharp. She did not give them. She let her hands tighten. She let her feet shift so her weight pressed down through her heels into the moon rock. She bent her knees, lowering her center of gravity like a dock worker hefting a crate, like a farmer lifting a stone. "On my mark," she said inside herself. 3, 2, 1. She pulled. The world narrowed to her palms, the ache in her forearms, the tremble in her thighs, the breath that had to be kept steady. The sword did not move. The energy field flared and clawed. The ground said nothing. Time stretched thin. Somewhere in the stands, a child of a fleet trader watched with wide eyes and did not blink. A seraph guard leaned forward at the same angle as a human engineer beside him, and neither saw the other. 10 drones recorded everything, and the data felt heavy. Evelyn's vision spotted. Her chest burned. She kept her breath. She remembered a friend in training who had said, "You always know the count." She counted the seconds. She held the rhythm like a lantern in fog. Under the red field, another light trembled. It was not blue or green or gold. It was clear like ice that has no bubbles. It asked a question that was not words. "Who are you?" "I am human," she answered in her heart. "I fail, I learn. I try again. I carry my people. I carry our dead. I carry their hopes. I will put this sword down before I use it to hurt the wrong, but I will lift it." The clear light grew, slow but sure. It moved through the red, not breaking it, but changing it like dawn moving over snow. The ground cracked under her boots. A sound rolled across the arena, low and deep, like a mountain deciding to stand. Pebbles danced. The sword tilted a hair. It was the smallest thing. It was everything. Gasps bloomed, sharp as sparks. Even Kartal went still. His eyes narrowed. His feathers lowered, then rose again in a different pattern. Uncertainty. Evelyn pulled again. This time the motion was not a fight but a joining. Her heartbeat found the sword's pulse. The alloy sang. Not loud, not bright. It was a work song. The kind sung to keep hands moving and spirit steady. She heard it. She added her breath to it. The blade came free with a long, clean sound. No one cheered at first. The silence felt holy and strange. The sword hovered in her hands, weightless and heavy at once. Symbols along the blade shifted. Some turned into human letters, not words yet, just shapes ready to become them. Evelyn looked up. Kartal stared at her as if seeing a ghost from a story he had been told to forget. The crowd found its voice in layers, a murmur, a rush, a roar. Human ships flashed green and blue lights in an old Earth pattern that meant home safe. The Confederated Kith clicked their mandibles in respect. A quiet botanist from the Coral Worlds cried. 3 seraph guards took a step back, not in fear of her, but in respect for the sword. Evelyn held the blade steady. Her arm shook now, not from strain, but from release. She turned to Kartal, her face open and tired and strong. Her voice carried, simple and clear. It was not a taunt. It was a question. It gave him a way to step back with dignity. In this, she was kind. Kartal closed his eyes for a heartbeat. When he opened them, they were the same cold blue, but something in them had softened just at the edges, like frost under sun. "He lower, the test is witnessed," he said. "The sword responds to you. The council must consider this proof, he paused. His next words were harder. And I must consider what I still have to learn. The crowd's noise shifted again, not wild now, but thoughtful. Like Rain, Evelyn did not lift the sword in a grand pose. She lowered it, slow and careful, as if laying down a baby. She placed the tip back into the ground, not to bind it, but to rest it. The blade's light dimmed to a soft glow and stayed with her, like a loyal dog choosing its person in a room full.